Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming this afternoon. I'm Susan Bryson. I teach in the philosophy department, and it is a real honor for me and one that gives me great pleasure to be able to introduce you to this year's Stephen R. Volk, class of 57 lecturer, Professor Mari Matsuda, who is professor of law at the Georgetown University Law Center. Prior to joining the faculty at Georgetown, Professor Matsuda was a professor of law at the University of California at Los Angeles School of Law, and prior to that, she taught at the University of Hawaii School of Law. The first tenured female Asian American law professor in the United States, Professor Matsuda is an activist scholar who has not only authored several critically acclaimed books and numerous law review articles that are among those most frequently cited, but has also published widely in academic and popular journals such as Amerasia Journal and Ms. Magazine. One of the primary voices in critical race theory since its inception, Professor Matsuda is internationally recognized expert on civil rights, feminist theory, affirmative action, and hate speech. Her books include Called from Within, Words That Wound, Where Is Your Body, and We Won't Go Back, Making a Case for Affirmative Action, which she co-authored with Charles Lawrence. Today's Volk Lecture is part of Dartmouth's two-week celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and is also part of this year's Dartmouth Center's Forum series on the topic Class Divide. I'd like to thank the people who made this event possible, the Dartmouth Lawyers Association, and the Rockefeller Center for Public Policy and the Social Sciences, especially Associate Director Sadhana Hall, and most especially the Coordinator of Public and Special Events, Judy Fothergill, who just reminded me to remind you to please turn off your cell phones. I'd also like to thank the co-sponsors of this talk, the Legal Studies faculty, especially this year's faculty convener, Professor Jim Murphy. The Office of Institutional Diversity and Equity, especially Holly Satea, the interim vice president, the Office of Pluralism and Leadership, in particular Nora Yasamura, the advisor to Asian and Asian American students, the Tucker Foundation, the Office of Student Life, and the East Wheelock Cluster. I'm not entirely sure when I first learned of Professor Matsuda's groundbreaking work, but it might have been in the course of reading Judge Avern Cohn's 1989 U.S. District Court opinion in the case that ruled unconstitutional the policy on discrimination and discriminatory harassment that had been adopted by the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. Now, I thought this policy was an entirely appropriate and much needed response to a series of horrendously racist incidents on that campus. And I was genuinely baffled by Judge Cohn's opinion, which begins with the words, quote,